Hey guys, yeah, it's about almost 11. It's 8 minutes to 11 a.m. Pacific time on this Monday, May 20th, 2024. I've been up most of the morning so far. The reason I got up early is one, I heard my mom getting up and her leaving for work today. She just called me to check in on things. And then basically what I did afterwards is I got myself ready into my clothing that you see here before I took a shower. And what I did is a little after 7, I left the house because I wanted to go take care of something that I needed to take care of. And that was basically taking the money I got from my EDD, and placing it into my checking account on my bank. The issue, though, is 2 weeks ago when I did this, on the day I was leaving with my sister and her husband to go see my dad in Kansas, in which we took the red eye on Spirit. Basically, when I went to go do it then on that morning, and my mom was off that day. She had taken that day off because we had the baby gender reveal the previous day for my nephew, my oldest nephew and his wife, my niece-in-law, if you will. And basically, she wanted to take the day off because she didn't want to do too much or anything within the span of 24 hours. But anyway, to get on topic, what I did is I left the house. I told her what I was going to go do. And when I went to my bank over here, or at least the ATM over here at Nob Hill, what happened is mainly the depositing of cash and withdrawal of cash, or at least the depositing of it, was not available. You couldn't do nothing. Yeah, you couldn't do nothing. I mean, you could check your account and everything, and that's fine. You couldn't deposit or even withdraw money. So what happened, and I didn't even notice this until the second time I went over there. What happened is I went over to the BMO because BMO has been kind of slowly letting itself be known here in the Newman-Patterson region. And I went over to BMO, and I withdrew the money from there. And BMO mostly is supposed to be advertising itself, or is been advertising itself as, hey, we are the most fee-free, bank around. In other words, like if you're using another bank card to withdraw money or something, you don't have to pay that many fees. Well, I'm using my money network card that, EDD, I'm guessing in all other countries has been issuing out. I used my EDD to withdraw my money, and I ended up being feed $3.50. Now you might say, well, that's not a big deal, but still, if you're advertising, hey, we're the most fee-free bank around, then you should be living up to that. And the money network card, I thought, wasn't charged any kind of fees anyway, because it's not really tied to any real bank, if you will. But I guess it is. Anyway, long story short, I go to do the BMO thing 2 weeks ago, get the money out. Then I walk over back to Nob Hill where the bank ATM for my bank, is located. I go over there, and that's when I noticed when I put my card in, or at least I tap my card, because you got those little wireless taps now. When I go do that, I notice that it says, the deposit cash option and the, withdraw option are unavailable. So I'm thinking, oh, well, that's just great, right? So what happens is later on that day, my mom and we go to Patterson because she's got to drop me off with my sister so we can leave early to go to the airport. She drops me off, before she drops me off with my sisters, we go and do a little shopping. And then we also stop at the bank. Well, we stop at the bank first, and then we do a little shopping. And so what I do is I go into the bank and the ATM at Save Mart in Patterson, and I deposit there. But what's crazy is you only have, they have two ATMs, right? Along with a bank, with an actual bank, mini bank in there, if you will. So I go in there, people are lined up, to go talk to some tellers at the mini version of the bank, and there's two ATMs. But what's crazy is only one of them is working, the other is out of order. Now, my assumption for the one over here being kind of out of order when it comes to depositing cash or withdrawing it, and then the other one over at SafeMart, the one of the two being somewhat the same. Me and my mom kind of agreed it might have been because it was Cinco de Mayo weekend and people were withdrawing a lot of money to spend on, parties, liquor, vacation, mini vacation, whatever. So, after that, got my money deposited, used it somewhat, as best as I could when I was out there with my sister and her husband visiting my dad. And then this weekend, 2 weeks later, I go through my routine, my EDD, like a lot of us do, for those of us that do have EDD. Anyway, I go through my, bi-weekly situation. And then today, knowing that the money is in there already because it goes in there around 9 p.m. Pacific time, 12 a.m. Eastern. So what I do is noticing that because I go to my bank's website, I go to my account for my bank on the website, and I notice, I got to take care of this because this doesn't look good. Even though they may or may not give me a overdraft fee, being in the negatives, that's not a good sign. So I decide, okay, I'm going to get up after she leaves and do what I did 2 weeks ago. And that's what I do. I end up going over to Nob Hill, which is where the bank ATM is. That's kind of like our Save Mart or Dillon's Lucky's, if you will, in this town. And I go there, and the deposit option is working now. The withdrawal option is working now. But now the tap option, the contactless option, if you will, is not working. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if it ain't one thing, it's another, right? So anyway, I try using the tap option on my EDD bank card. And apparently because, EDD has switched from, a very notable bank known as B of A over to the network, the money networks, if you will, for a lot of us. Apparently, my bank doesn't like, or at least this ATM of my bank, doesn't like my EDD card. Because for the second time, it refuses to use it, even though I've inserted, put in the right numbers and all that, it does not want to have anything to do with it. Because, I go to the option to check checking to see and make sure that your money is in there. Doesn't want to process it. But what's crazy is, once again, I'm like, okay, I know what to do. So instead of coming home and just saying, okay, I'll wait for about a full day until it goes into my bank via electronic, right? Because that negative part's kind of bugging me. So what do? I end up doing what I did 2 weeks ago. I walk down, down Main Street, almost all the way to downtown, close to where the West Side Theater is, and I go over to, I go over to the BMO, over there once again, and ironically, for like the second time, as soon as I go over there, that's when somebody else starts to show up and gets ready to do the same thing I'm doing. So anyway, I go over there, and I have no issue. I tap my EDD card, BMO reads it, and I'm able to check my balance, make sure the money is on the card, and I'm able to later on, or moments later, even with that $3.50 fee, I'm able to withdraw the money I need to go put into my bank account over at the ATM at Nob Hill. So I do that. I check my balance, I get the money out, $3.50 fee, whatever. And then I walk back over to Nob Hill, walk back inside the store, go over to the ATM as soon as somebody's done using it, and deposit the money that it gave me. And that was it. That was it. So apparently, it seems that my bank, and I'm sure my bank's not the only one out there. I'm not going to say which one it is, but it seems my bank is one of the very few, if not many, banks that are not going to accept the EDD Money Network card whatsoever. Because I'm pretty sure there are other banks out there that are doing this that are the same way. They will not accept, this Money Network card whatsoever. Which means a lot of us are left with having to electronically deposit it or transfer it from the network card, to our account via computer, online, if you will. And if I wasn't in the circumstance I was in, being in the negatives, that wouldn't be an issue. That wouldn't be an issue whatsoever, but I did not want to deal with that. So yeah, that's what I did this morning. And as far as this past week goes, I'll put it this way. The first full week back, after being, gone for most of the week, the previous one, the first full week back, I can tell you honestly, when they say, you get readjusted to the time zones that that you're used to after being in other time zones for a while. When they say that it hits you because you're readjusting, they're not kidding. They're not kidding. Because my body was still readjusting. No matter how people might look at that as an excuse, it was still readjusting. It was. I mean, the fact that the previous week or 2 weeks ago, at this time 2 weeks ago, I was still here. But, 2 weeks ago this week, my body was being readjusted to going from, let's say now it's like past 11 o'clock right now, to it being 1 o'clock out there. So, yeah, my body clock was off, and it took me a bit to get, reused to it again, or readjusted, if you will. Like right now, it's 11:05, so for me, my body clock was like totally off, and it took me a week to get, readjusted. My older sister, she's used to it, and so is my brother-in-law, because my older sister has done it, 2 times prior. My brother-in-law has done it, I think, once or twice prior, 2 times prior as well, something like that. So yeah, they're used to it. It took me a while because I hadn't done it in a long time, almost a decade, which is kind of why which I guess could kind of explain why I was a little off, if you will, because my body was still readjusting. But yeah, last week, first week back, not really much going on, just, relaxing, do my own thing, just trying to catch up with everything that was happening, and really not much outside of that. One thing I can say, and I mentioned this in a video I did out there, a real quick one, is yes, right now I am monetizing once again. I don't know how long it's going to last, because the way the YT is, you never know what's going to happen next. You never know, what they're going to, look at to see whether or not you can keep your monetization or not. But I'm back to monetizing. It's helping. It will help out, hopefully, in the end. And your guys' support through super chats and super thanks, and actually checking out my Teespring store and my affiliate stores that I tag as well will be great. You'll be grateful in the long run. But yeah, one of the things I'm happy now about is I can start doing my YouTube videos more often, because of the fact that I can, get back to monetizing and earning some money. And what's even more crazy too, speaking of trying to earn money again, I'm actually back to my podcasting, my new BW Rosas, that's BW Rosas, that's BWROSAS discussions. And what's crazy is I was thinking, okay, what's going on? Because I had created the second one because the one that I created through Twitter, Twitter/x.com, for some reason that's still around, but I just can't get to it. I can't access it for some odd reason. I don't know why. Well, anyway, long story short, I almost thought I was going to deal with the same thing here because I had created this one via Google. But what's crazy is all I had to do was log into my Spotify because it's connected to my Spotify. All I had to do was do that. Oh, look, I can use it again. It's like, what is going on here with these outlets where they will basically, hold you, basically they will change things without you knowing. I mean, again, I'm using Anchor.fm, now known as Podcasters or Spotify for Podcasters. I'm creating this new version of my BW Russ's Discussions, which again is BW Russ's Discussions, if you will, and it's taking off in a big way because I don't even have to link it. I don't even have to share the link to the podcast and the various affiliations for people to watch it or listen to it. Anyway, I'm thinking, what's going on here? Because now I can't even sign into my, via Google, and instead, instead of telling us, oh, by the way, you can use your Spotify and it works, I had to discover that for myself. It's like, what is their issue? Why won't they tell anybody, huh? Obviously there's some miscommunication going on, behind the scenes, and they're not letting each other or letting their content creators, their consumers, their users, and all that in on what's happening. And to me, that's not a good sign for them or anybody else. Honestly, it's not really a good sign. But yeah, I'm back to doing my podcasting as well. So you can also watch and listen to a lot of my stuff here on YouTube, as well as over at my BW Russ's Discussions podcast, which you can find on all available outlets as described in the description, like iHeart, Audible, Pandora, you name it. But yeah, you can find them on those various outlets as well. And speaking of this channel, in 2 weeks from, I'm assuming 2 weeks from today, actually, now that I think about it, because it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. 2 weeks from tomorrow. On Tuesday, June 4th, God willing, nothing happens. On Tuesday, June 4th, I will be celebrating 16 years with this channel. 16 years. It's hard to believe. 16 years with this channel. I've had ups and downs, as you've noticed, like a lot of people do, but 16 years. 16 years. And I'm one of those people that has seen YouTube grow to the point that now the only way you can truly achieve monetization is basically you got to make sure that if you're going to have, let's say, Mortal Kombat gameplay, that it's on non-fatality mode. Let's put it that way. Yeah, because apparently you can't have those kind of gameplays anymore due to the fact that it goes against the policies of YouTube. Go figure. But that's fine. It's understandable. You got to change with the times. Hopefully places like YouTube and others like them will kind of hear the dissatisfaction from people, and they'll be like, okay, maybe making these decisions wasn't the best idea. But again, as I've mentioned before in a audio video where I talked about this, we may not agree with the policy changes, but we do understand why they're happening. So there's that. But yeah, I'll be celebrating 16 years 2 weeks from tomorrow here on the YT. So probably going to get a live stream then. You'll probably get a live stream then to look forward to as we approach it. I will let you know when that will happen. So if you guys want to send in super chats and super thanks during that live stream, and heck, if you want to put in super thanks, during these next 2 weeks to help me kind of, get ready to celebrate that moment, it'd be greatly appreciated. But anyway, though, guys, like I said, not really much happening. I will be doing a channel update as well for the upcoming month. just to let you know what's going to be happening. I will be doing that probably by next week. Next week I'll be doing it. Maybe not next Monday, because next Monday is Memorial Day weekend. And so my mom will be off that week, or at least that day. So, me walking around like what I'm doing now, not going to be in the cards. But I will have some content ready for you guys. I'll be doing some live content as well, because we do have an event coming up within a week from this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But mostly it'll be a week from Saturday and a week from this Sunday. And that will be the 2024 Patterson Apricot Fiesta. That's right, the Apricot Fiesta is going to be happening this upcoming, not this upcoming week, but a week from this upcoming weekend in Patterson, California. So there will be content from that, so you guys can be on the lookout for that as well. But anyway, though, guys, just wanted to come on here and let you know, vlog-wise, what's been happening and everything. And really, that's all I could say as of right now. Also give you an idea of what maybe I'm going to be doing, as well as the anniversary, and also the fact that I am monetizing once more. And as described in the description, you can help support through Super Thanks and Super Chats, as well as check out the Teespring store and the affiliate stores as well. And also check out my podcast, BW Rose's discussions on all your favorite podcast affiliates. It'll help me out greatly to grow the audience there as well. But anyway, though, guys, just wanted to do a little vlog here on this Monday, May 20th, 2024. Let me know what your thoughts are overall. Comment below and in the live chat. And until then, again, Super Thanks, Super Chats are open. Check out the Teespring and affiliated stores that will be connected. And until then, guys, I will talk to you all later. Have a good rest of your day.